Well, hi folks, and welcome to the next card in our tarot series. And this is going to be key number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. Now, in the Wheel of Fortune, we're looking at a very important cosmic law, one which we've mentioned once or twice already, and it's the law of rotation, or the law of cycles. And it could even to be said to be the law of spirals as well, because we all experience these day by day. We already know about it. We know that the days run through a cycle of 7. We know that we've got months, so we have a cycle, we have a larger cycle, and then we have another cycle which is a year, and then there are bigger time cycles. And there are cycles in everything else as well. You know that the planets go around in cycles. We know that deep down in our DNA, we've got we have spiral activity, and we know that the universe is a spiral. So basically, what I'm saying is everything is a spiral. We all recognise the spirals, but we don't really dig down deep into the whole thing and realise that everything we're doing is cyclic. Our moods are cyclic. Very important to recognise this, because then we can react in a way that responds to the moods in our the cycles in our moods. But what we've done so far in this series, and we've started on the Fool's Journey, which we said is a cyclic journey. We've started with Naught, which was the cosmic one, the life force that just stands there patiently waiting for activity. And then we went off with the Magician. We went through the whole cycle until we've got to the wise fool at the end, being the Hermit, which was the last card, key number 9. And we said that was the end of a journey. But now with 10, you can see that we're starting off at journey 1.1 or 1.0. So we're starting off at the next journey. But it's not going to be the same journey, is it? Because we've learned things on our last spiritual journey. And remember the fool with his haversack and his little bag on his stick there, that we said that when he goes on a journey, he puts all his memories in there. So his next journey won't be the same journey. It'll be one above. It'll be a spiral journey. We mentioned at one point the idea of the valleys and peaks of the mountain, which is again is the same idea, because you start off in the valley and then you go to a peak, and then your next valley, then your next peak, your next valley, your next peak. And then you can see that's a cycle as well, until you get to the point where your lowest valley that you're in was much higher than your original peak. So that's the journey, or the principles of growth, of involution and evolution, and that's particularly what this card, this key symbolises. I've got 2 keys here. We've got my favourite one up here, and we've also got the Rider Waite pack, but they're pretty much identical, really. So symbolize the symbolisation of the card, and then I'll give you an idea of what we can do with it in our lives, in our general lives, day to day. So first of all, the Hebrew letter is Kaf, and this means the grasping hand, not the open hand like the magician, like we've had previously in the Hermit. This is the grasping hand. So what does a grasping hand mean? One of the main meanings is that we look into the situation. We've said before, I see the situation now. Now it's time to grasp that situation. When you say to yourself, I understand now, I've really grasped it. So this is a time to grasp the idea of spirals, because it is so fundamentally important. If you forget, look at your hand in front of you, put your finger and round your thumb and look at it, and you can see that you've got a spiral. Spiral activity is vitally important. Excuse me, I need my coffee. Keeps me awake, keeps me going. So numbers, right, okay. So we can say that 10 is the fulmination of 1 to 4. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. And also you can add the naught one as well if you want, because it doesn't make any difference. So 10 is 1 to 4. So what we're saying here is the idea is that everything that the Emperor, number 4, his total empire, is controlled by what we see in this card. we can say that 1 is a magician, and he observed. 2 is the High Priestess, and she remembered the Torah, subconsciousness. 3 was imagination, so it was the Empress, and she brought forth, pregnant with ideas. And 4 was the Emperor, and that's obviously deep reason. Put them all together and you've got a cosmic journey. And 10 is actually on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life is the bottom sphere. It's Malkuth, it's the Empire, which signifies the whole thing, again, like that the Emperor controls. Now around the edge of the card you see we've got 4 symbols. Okay, now these are the fixed signs of the zodiac. There are 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. So we're working within, this is saying we're working within a framework, a fixed framework. Okay, now these all add up to the holy name that we covered in the beginning, the Tetragrammaton, the holy name of the one thing that we're saying is superconsciousness, is God, it's the everything. So we'll start off with the bull. He's down here. Now the bull is Taurus, it's earth, it's the coin and the pentagram that you see on the magician's table that he works with, and it's also hay for the Yodeh Veveh, the Tetragrammaton. Leo is the lion, obviously that's the Leo, the lion, it's fire, it's the wand of the magician's table, and it's Yod. The eagle is Scorpio. Scorpio is water, so it's the cup on the magician's table. Remember we said that the cup remembers the position of the shape of the water, and it's the second hay in the Tetragrammaton. And man is Aquarius, and it's air, and it's the sword, and it's Vav. So you've got Yodeh Vaveh, you've got the one name of the Tetragrammaton, the one name of the whole thing. Now you'll see that all the animals with the fixed signs of the zodiac are all sat on the clouds. So which is to indicate we're looking here at the Jupiter power, because Jupiter is the god of thunder and is of lightning and of rain. So it's that power that we're using here. The inner circle is so we'll move into the circles. The inner circle, right in the centre, you see there's a little 8-pointed cross. Now this was the Hindu Akasha symbol of quintessence. So again, it's a symbol of everything. Again, right at the centre of everything that happens, at the centre of every circle and every cycle and every spiral. A little circle around the central circle is at a place of motion. It's what we said when we said there were different types of worlds, the archetypal world, formative, etc. Well, this represents the smallest part of the world, the archetypal world, a place where things haven't come into formation yet, but have an idea behind them and not much else. And then you've got the circle around that, which is the creative world. So you see we're moving from an idea to a creation to a formative. We're moving up in the idea of evolution as we go to the bigger and bigger circles. Now obviously we've got alchemical symbols right around the edge of the card. And these represent the formative world. This is when things are actually coming into existence again. So, and these have got a few symbols associated with them as well, or a few translations of the symbol. You see at the top, you've got a T. Now the T stands for Mercury. It's the Statraguna of the Hindu religion. It represents wisdom and it represents superconsciousness. So that's the whole idea of superconsciousness is in the T there. There's an A, which is, as you go around in this direction. Now the A stands for sulfur. We've covered all these in different times, so there's no point to go into what they all mean. Every symbol means in great depth, just what they are. It's a Rajaguna. It represents passion and desire for action, so it's like the Mars thing. Well, this is self-consciousness. So, top is a fool. Self-consciousness is obviously the magician, it's the number 1. We have the naught on the other side. This is salt. It's the tamas guna. It's inertia. So it's inertia is before activity. It's but it's the subconsciousness. It's where everything is still and you can view it all and see what has happened or what is on the scroll of the High Priestess. And the R at the bottom represents dissolution. It's Aquarius. It's the dissolution in the alchemical symbol, which means to extract the essence of something, to break something down and to get down to the actual basic essence of a thing. Then you project this essence into a new form, and thereby, using your creative imagination, you bring something into manifestation. So the outer circle, okay, represents the material world. So we've gone from the archetypal world, which is just an idea, to a formation of something which actually you can see and you can knock on, like wood. And you can see also that the full tetragrammaton is written right round as well. So this is the one thing still, but it's the one thing in material form. So the letters that we've said again, you can rearrange these letters to create a word. You can imagine spinning the Ezekiel's wheel here and different letters appearing in different order. And this sentence you can come up with is Rota, Tarot, Orat, Torah, Ator. Now Ator is the original Egyptian word for Hathor, which is nature. So we're looking at the Empress. And you'll see on the tableau that the Empress is above the Wheel of Fortune. So the Empress is ideas of nature, pregnant with ideas, nature bringing forth. And we said that the card beneath it on the tableau is the energy that it works through. So it is the energy of the cyclic action that brings nature into form. And that results in the card on the bottom, which is actually card 16. It's the star. And of course, we'll get to that as time proceeds. So number 10 is the cyclic nature. The planet Jupiter, as we said, is very, very important. It's the ruler of the gods. It's the great fortune. It's the great benevolence. 2 little bits left on the card. Now we have the yellow serpent on one side of the wheel. You can see that it's actually proceeding downwards. So what this is saying is it's yellow because it's light, but it's wavy because it's vibration. But it's descending, the serpent power of the 4 is descending down into physical manifestation. The chap at the other side is Hermanubis. He's red, so he's got the Mars energy. He also symbolises the development of human personality. You'll see because his eyes are level. He's saying that we're working at the moment at the level of human personality, is working at the level of intelligence, not spirituality. Spirituality in the future, because you see his ears are over the level, but they're over the horizon level. So it's in the area of Yod on the card, which is the Hermit, which is spirituality. But at the moment, we're not working for the level of spirituality. We can see at the moment that what we've done, we shut all the churches down because we're in some sort of so-called problematic time. The churches are all closed. Well, who's running the country? The scientists. And that says it all. The Sphinx on top, the last little bit, that's a cross between a human female and a male lion. So it just shows that the energies of both are working together, but they're right on top of the wheel. That's where we're heading up to. So that's the symbolism. So what does it mean to us on our day-to-day activity? Well, basically all activity, we've always said this, haven't we, that all activity is from one force. And now we know that this one force is a cyclic force. Even the least of our personal activities is an expression of a larger cycle of cosmic activity. As equals wheel within wheel, wheels within wheels. So if we can see one aspect of our daily activity, one aspect that we do, we can then hopefully recognize and look deeper that this cycle is actually part of a bigger cycle, which is part of a bigger cycle ad infinitum. We need to learn to recognize the cosmic ebbs and flows on a macro and micro level. And for us particularly, a micro level is extremely important because that's our spiritual level and we can work from it. The spiral galaxy, as above, so below, broken down to the level of our own personal activity. We need to be able to see it, which I've said all the way through this series. Don't look at something on the surface. Look into it. Look deep into it. See what it really is. Look at key 10, particularly whenever your moods are low, whenever things aren't really going the way you want them to. And that's because you can then recognize your own cycles. If things aren't going good, you can look at the card and realize that, well, it's only a cycle. Tomorrow will be much better if we just let things go. Me on a business level as a tour operator, I can go up in the morning, start working. So I might get a cancellation of a tour and then some expense goes out, blah, 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 or the hotel cancels. Then I know that I'm on the wrong type of the cycle for this. So it's time to play out. Go out, have a walk, walk by the sea, forget work, because it's not a day for work, because the cycle is on its way down. The next day, start again, more bookings, everything's so much easier. So it's learning to work with those cycles, knowing when to just say, oh, I'm just gonna leave it today because it isn't the right time. And today I feel positive, things are going well, let's work harder, let's put some more hours in, let's get some work done, or whatever it is that you're trying to work in your next spiritual journey, or even on your day-to-day activity. And I think that is the main thing to learn from key 10. So I hope you're enjoying it, and we'll be back with key 11 very, very soon, a very, very important one. So please do click on subscribe and on like, and obviously my PayPal button is there for anybody who'd like to give a donation. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.